Hello, I'm Jamie Buckland with the West Virginia FUE, West Virginia Families United for Education. I'm talking today with Thomas from Cozy Grammar. Thomas, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and how you got started with Cozy Grammar?
So I am a writer and a translator as well as a teacher. I began to be associated with Cozy Grammar in 2016 when we fully transitioned to an online streaming platform. I'm the sort of second teacher of the two teachers, and I'll tell you more about the founding teacher of Cozy Grammar shortly. As a working writer, my job is to show how the concepts of grammar link directly not only to everyday life, but to creativity. Because there's an idea in the air or in people's experience that grammar is somehow stultifying to creativity. It's kind of a dry, monotonous, confusing subject. But for me as a writer, grammar is one of my most important tools. And so what I'm most excited to offer through Cozy Grammar is how learning about verbs and adverbs and gerunds and adjectives actually allow us to become more creative, more persuasive writers, more engaging writers and speakers.
I love that. So, who do you all serve? What ages are we looking at for this program?
So our courses serve students ages 9 and up. And these are students who are particularly students who have maybe they've tried a number of different, or their families have tried a number of different approaches using textbooks or workbooks, or maybe online, or maybe they've tried to do it more organically. They often find that the rules, the principles don't really stick for some reason. They don't really land in a memorable way. Or maybe there are students who are very smart, but they struggle with holding attention, or they may have dyslexia, or they may find conventional curriculum to be curriculi to not really be engage them in the way they would want to be engaged. So those are sort of the general groups of people that we serve. And more specifically, so we work with homeschoolers, charter school students, learning pods, and micro schools, as well as also public schools and private schools and some library systems. Perhaps the most important thing to say about the people, the students, the families that we serve is that we work particularly well with families who share and students who share 5 core values. They're simply 5 words. The first word is joy, because we believe that learning grammar, and our students and families believe that learning grammar can be something that's joyful, exciting, engaging, and life-affirming rather than stultifying or dry or boring. Our second value is creativity. We firmly believe that creativity, the capacity to be creative in whatever area we end up going on to make our lives work, is foundational and fundamental, and that grammar can be a part of that creativity. Our families also believe in relevance, that our learning should connect to our lives in very practical ways as well as life enhancing ways. Our fourth value is pacing, that learning happens best when we're able to go step by step. So we're not trying to make a big leap, but we're also not sort of stuck in some sort of little corner of the world of knowledge. We want to keep progressing, but progressing in a steady way where there's time for rest and time to integrate what we learn, so that we really learn what we're learning, and that learning can serve us through the rest of our lives. And our fifth and perhaps most important value is that even in a world where things can seem tumultuous or confusing, we still, and our students and families still, believe in kindness, in goodness, and generosity, and that all of these values inform everything we do in our courses, and is why people and students have really found Cozy Grammar to be a real gift for them, a real nourishing resource that imparts, of course, the practical level, all of the tools of grammar that people need, but also this something more, which is why we're Cozy Grammar, the coziness of a home, the coziness, the warmth that can come from connecting with others. And one of the ways, of course, we do that is through language.
Thank you for sharing that. That is wonderful and encouraging to hear for sure. So, could you walk us through exactly how you serve families? Is this a manual? You mentioned online streaming earlier. So, what does this look like for the family at home or possibly the teacher who's looking to start a micro school?
So we have 5 online courses, and these are courses which each lesson has 2 videos. One video comes from Cozy Grammar's co-founder, Marie Rackham, and she is a beloved teacher on Vancouver Island in Canada, in British Columbia, and she teaches the main concept for each lesson. And these are lessons from 5 minutes to the longest lessons around 15 minutes or so. They tend to be about 5 to 10 minutes. She, in her cozy beach cottage on the edge of Discovery Passage on the beach on Vancouver Island, will introduce the topic in the context of everyday life. In her cottage, maybe she goes outside to the beach, maybe she takes you into the woods or canoeing or out to find whales to see if we can spy some whales in the water. And she teaches the grammatical concepts. I, in turn, have a supplementary video in which I tie that grammatical concept directly to creativity with sort of hands-on practical creative writing activities, creative reading activities, examples from history, from literature, from poetry, so that between these two videos, which are sort of the core of each of these lessons, students get this sense of nuts and bolts, as well as the applicability, the relevance of the concept. And then these videos are supplemented by study notes where all of the content is written out with stills from those videos. The study notes are also available as PDFs, so if people don't want to be reading it on the website, they can print out those PDFs. And then the third piece are exercises that are online. And one of the things that we've been able to do by putting them online is that when a student goes through and does the exercises, immediately after they sort of submit them to the website, they get little helpful hints. Congratulations from me and Marie for all the ones that they get correct. And if there's ones that have been confusing, we have tailor-made pointers or hints like, oh, well, that seems to be kind of confusing. Here's how to think about this kind of verb or a noun or adjective or whatever it may be. Because what we're really hoping to do is help people to learn to think grammatically, to think clearly about language, to learn the language with which we talk about language. And so each of these pieces are designed through different ways, through interaction, through video, audio, visual learning, even tactile. We have activities that are suggested in the study notes for going out and touching things because we have so much online learning these days. It's nice to complement that, to take the useful parts of such a way of learning and connect them to the actual earth beneath our feet and the feel of a leaf in our hands and so on. Often people will go at whatever pace suits them, but they'll go lesson by lesson. They might do a lesson a week and sort of watch the videos one day, do the study notes another day, do some of the creative writing activities on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday they might try the exercises and see how they do. Students who are highly motivated might do a lesson a day. Students who really want to let things sink in might do, they'll find the pace that works for them. And we have some suggested plans for if somebody's on like a 36-week plan or suggested guidelines, but we really try to make these people can really tailor to their own style, their own schedule.
Wonderful. Now, where can we go to learn more about cozy grammar?
You can go to cozygrammar.com where you can learn all about our courses. And because Cozy Grammar is different, it is a very different approach to learning grammar, learning language. People are often not exactly sure at first. Like, this sounds interesting, this sounds exciting, but will this really work for me? Will this really work for my students, my family, myself, if I'm the one choosing the curriculum? So we have a free introduction to grammar and creativity, which are 7 sort of nugget-sized, bite-sized pieces of our much larger feast, if you will. So you can meet Marie, you can meet me, you can taste the video lessons, you can see what the study notes look like, you can try some exercises, and you can really get a sense for yourself whether this is a good match for you. There's one other thing I want to add as we're talking about this, which is that, along with this sort of sense I've given of what it looks like on the ground doing one of these lessons. People often ask, how does Cozy Grammar work? And of course, it works at that level. There are these 5 core courses: the basic Cozy Grammar course, the basic Cozy Punctuation course, the basic Cozy Essay course, and the intermediate Cozy Grammar course, level 1 and 2. And we combine them in a complete curriculum, and people purchase access for 6 months, a year, 3 years, whatever suits their needs. But there is another answer to that question of how Cozy Grammar works, which is that we have sort of 3 core principles that we use that combine with our 5 values. And those are simply that the context of language is life. So again, connecting language and life together. And that grammar, as I've said, enhances creativity. And also that no one fails if they have the tools, if they're given everything they need to understand language, how to write well, how to speak well, how to speak from the heart in a way that is clearly understandable by anybody listening, then people thrive. And in fact, we discover that good language is really about a form of love in action, and that good language is also a way of loving the world. And so all of these sort of nuts and bolts pieces come together to be what Cozy Grammar has been for 20 years and more.
I love that. Thomas, thank you so much for sharing about Cozy Grammar. I'm encouraged for myself and for my own homeschool. I feel certain I'm going to be visiting your website and looking at what you have to offer. So thank you so much for talking with me today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Really a pleasure.